Here in Littlejohn Coliseum, the Clemson Tigers close out a season-opening 5-game homestand, taking on the Bulldogs of Alabama A&M out of the SWAC. Hi, everybody, and welcome in with Jim Davis, Pete Hannity with you. A Tigers team that's really picked up the scoring over the past couple of games.
They certainly have, Pete. In the last game against Detroit Mercy, they had 3 players with 18 points or more. First time that's happened in more than 10 years.
In a 22-point win on Sunday. Now tonight they're going to turn to one of their veterans and newcomers in the starting lineup. Curran Scott will get his first start in place of the injured freshman Chase Hunter, who has a foot issue.
Curran Scott's a newcomer, but he's a veteran. He's a graduate transfer from Tulsa, and they need that veteran leadership in the backcourt.
Tigers head coach Brad Brownell trying to get his team a 4th straight win. He is closing in on the all-time Clemson record for victories, held by Cliff Ellis at 177. So Brad ties it with 5 more victories. The 10th-year head coach facing Alabama A&M for the first time. In fact, the first ever meeting between the Tigers and a school located in Huntsville, Alabama that went Division I in 1999 and has one SWAC title to their credit. That was back in 2006. And we've got some technical issues in the arena at the start. Alabama A&M, for their part, certainly in a rebuilding project under their second-year head coach Dylan Howard, who a year ago took the team to a 5-27 mark as an interim head coach, but they are playing a bunch of freshmen this season.
They really are. As a matter of fact, the top 6 scorers for Alabama A&M are all newcomers. 5 freshmen and a graduate transfer for them.
Alabama A&M team with players like Cameron Alford, a freshman out of Brownsburg, Indiana. He's a very strong guard at 6'1", 200 pounds. Looks like they've gotten things worked out with the clock. And 5 freshmen contributing for them. One of those a little bit nicked up. They weren't sure of his ability, but he's got the ball right now as Cameron Tucker nurses a hamstring injury coming in. Bulldogs team that's off to an 0-4 start this season. All games on the road from the left wing. Cameron Alford unable to knock that one down.
You mentioned the fact that Clemson was playing their 5th straight home game. This is the 5th straight away game for Alabama A&M.
And Alabama A&M, a team that opens its home slate coming up Monday night against Troy. But yeah, they've been playing some good folks too away from home. Dawes, his first attempt for the Tigers. Clemson coming in 33% on the year beyond the arc. And after that rough patch against Virginia Tech in the opener on 3-pointers, they've been much better.
Certainly have, especially the last game.
E.J. Williams, their freshman center, had it, gave it away. Back out high it goes. They'll reset. T.J. Parham now gives it away to Tucker. Shot clock under 10. Newman flies in for the rebound off the Tucker miss. Tucker now 2 out of 12 so far in the early season on his 3-point tries.
Early going, Clemson switching everything on the defensive end.
Sims leaving it short. Amir Sims, one of those players Brad Brownell says he actually may try to reduce his minutes a little bit. He thinks that's been impacting his perimeter game. We'll get more into that as we continue here tonight. Lob inside. Williams tried the soft turnaround, the freshman out of Middletown, Ohio. And it'll go the other way. Dawes, no look, and then Sims kicks out left wing, and on the way, Tevin Mack, Tigers' top scorer, comes off a combined 35 points in his past 2 games. He's been stroking them from 3.
That's a great job of passing the basketball, too, which is, I thought, one of Clemson's very best characteristics in their win against Detroit Mercy. They had 20 assists and 31 field goals.
Mack knocking it away. They'll work on the perimeter. Right wing this time, and Parham can't get it to go. Mack will bring it up court. Brad Brownell so impressed with how quickly Tevin Mack is getting rid of the basketball when he shoots it.
He does have a quick release, that's for sure, and he can stroke it from 3. He can put it on the floor.
John Newman. There's Scott. And he'll head to the line. Curran Scott, 6 out of 8 so far in free throws, so he steps in. If they desperately need Chase Hunter tonight, he would probably be available. They'd rather not risk it with the road trip coming up, and you see the foul, the first of the game, and it goes against T.J. Parham.
That was a really good job with a very quick one rhythm dribble by Curran Scott right there, and he goes to the line for 2.
Probably know the backstory on Curran Scott. He began his career at Charlotte and then moved significantly closer to home. He's from just north of Oklahoma City, and he ended up playing at Tulsa. And here he is in a graduate season for the Tigers. Spent the past 3 years with the Golden Hurricane at Tulsa. Can't get the second free throw to go down. Bulldogs come in shooting 45, or I should say shooting 36% from the floor and just 26% beyond the arc. Drive inside, bodies fly, and good job that time by Dawes holding his ground with a drive by Tucker.
Great defensive position by Alamir Dawes.
Newman using the size, able to get past the defender, Hicks, but couldn't finish. Alford on the drive. And the Bulldogs still without any points here. 3.5 minutes in. Sims, the crossover. We saw him score like that the other day against Detroit Mercy.
Great job protecting the basketball with his body right there, using the left hand.
Sims among the Tigers' scoring leaders at just under 11 points a game. On the left wing, Tucker. Remember, he's been bothered by a hamstring issue. Parham with the lob. Williams, the big freshman. And firing out front and missing badly. Parham, 33% from beyond the arc this season, and with efforts like that, it's not going to get much better as the night goes on. Clemson out of the gate. Little step through by Amir Sims and an early Tigers lead. Here in Littlejohn Coliseum, a Thursday night of hoops for folks who came on out. A 6-0 Clemson lead on Alabama A&M out of the SWAC. And the Tigers, something that Brad Brownell, I think, is really intrigued by this team is that they should have a pretty good rhythm and ball movement in their offense, as we see on the first field goal of the game.
That's basketball at its best. Unselfishness first and foremost. Really good job on the pick and roll. Amir Sims on the kick out, and then the one more pass to Mack for the three.
Tevin Mack really working into the rotation. Keep in mind, he joined the team just a few days before they headed over to Italy to play in that summer tournament and brought home the gold at the World University Games. So he was learning literally on the job, but with the offseason that continue to prepare, it's one guy that Brad Brownell is very happy with, how he's been able to get into the flow. The Tigers will now see a zone out of an Alabama A&M team that uses a variety of defenses. That time they forced the turnover. Saw almost exclusively 1-3-1 out of Detroit Mercy in Sunday afternoon's game. Brandon Miller on the floor. That's him with the ball. He'll give it away to Hicks. Looking to do something with it. Jalen Johnson, another one of their freshmen, and the lefty hook is left short.
That's just another example of the great defensive play of Amir Sims. He has been exceptional on the defensive end this year so far.
Bulldogs 0 for 7 from the field so far. Sims inside the arc and off the floor. Alford. And we've got a illegal screen away from the ball. Jalen Johnson with the first personal for him, and that's 2 as a team on Alabama A&M. And right there, a little bit too much contact on Alamir Dawes.
Yeah, Jalen's another one of those freshmen that's got to learn it's a little different game than what he's been playing.
Newman tried to get it inside. Ball was deflected, but Mack to Sims.
It was a great save by Tevin Mack right there. John Newman III has got to learn there's passing lanes out there. We're throwing the ball by people, through people.
Miller hitting the first points of the game. Just an 18% three-point shooter before he launched that one. But junior out of Huntsville, grew up not too far from their campus at Alabama A&M. Makes it an 8-3 game. Dawes the second time. Scott halfway down. It comes out. Rebound to Alabama A&M's T.J. Parham. Baseline drive, a spin, and a scoop. Nice job by Cameron Alford, their leading scorer, just under 13 a game. Freshman out of Brownsburg, Indiana. now a little bit of a run after an 8-0 deficit for the Bulldogs. Sims on the left wing. Dawes. Alamir Dawes off to a 7-for-21 start in his college career beyond the arc.
I've always said it's much easier to shoot the three-pointer when the pass comes from the inside out.
Nice move to the basket. Alford showing you how he had 13 points against Miami of Ohio the other day and the eventual loss, but he was double figures the game before that at Cincinnati. Dawes from way downtown that time, and it bounces out of bounds.
Coach Brownell, I don't think was happy with that shot. It was a little quick.
So good job by Mack first to keep the possession and then to find a man underneath.
That really was. Great job of staying after it and delivered the pass on time with authority.
Miller running the point since that last time out in place of Cameron Tucker, who tried to give it a go, that hamstring issue that the Alabama A&M freshman guard had, maybe slowing them down a bit. Sims with the size advantage. Shot clock under 10. From the corner, launched by Evan Wiley, just checked in. And the rebound comes down to the Tigers' Kayvon Moore, just got on the court. Dawes, another try. And that time he rattles it home. 2 of his past 3 have gone down for Alamir Dawes, and Clemson out to a 7-point lead once more.
Pretty good confidence displayed by the freshman.
Tigers with size defending the point so far. Left wing Parham transferred in from Wisconsin Green Bay for a final season. Shot clock at 4. From way outside that time, Miller can't get it to go. Scott and the Tigers push the pace. Moore. Now he tried to get it inside to Sims, knocked away, and here comes Alford. Alford shakes defenders through traffic, feed inside. No, the first time for Parham, and on his way back up, he's fouled, and that'll be the first in the game against the Clemson team. Alamir Dawes, he's been stroking it from the outside. Tigers up by 7. With Jim Davis, Pete Ganady with you back in Littlejohn Coliseum. Hunter Tyson about to check in, coming off that big game on Sunday, the career-high 20 points.
5 of 10 from three-point range, and I'm sure Coach Brownell sees this 2-3 zone that Alabama A&M is using now, and Tyson can certainly bust that zone.
Tyson at 37% beyond the arc so far over the handful of games the Tigers have played. Mack leads the way at 41%. Long inbound try. There's Scott to come away with the steal. Another one for Curran, his second as a Tiger, and just like that, Tyson. And they'll count it.
Didn't take him long to get in the scoring column, but give Curran Scott the credit there with the steal and the assist.
And Tyson is a guy who, as a freshman last year, he tried to score in close. He's not just a fellow who goes outside at 6'7", 6'8", and tries to create matchup issues.
He can score inside and out, and he's a better free throw shooter than that.
Moore trying to add to the 9-point lead, biggest of the game so far for Clemson, off of that miss by Tyson. Evan Wiley out high. He'll give the ball away for Alabama A&M. Driving inside, Cameron Tucker. Left wing it goes. Not going to fall that time for Alford. Tyson will kick it to Newman, his buddy from their AAU days before they came to Clemson together. There's Scott doing one of the things that they hope he can contribute. He was 3 of 10 beyond the arc before the game began.
Yeah, just a little thing, Pete, I'd like to point out is the last few possessions against the zone, they've been doing a great job of pass faking one way and throwing the other. So good job of faking.
Tigers 4 out of 7 beyond the arc in the game. Contact inside. And another offensive foul against Alabama A&M. And this one on Cameron Alford.
John was sitting there waiting on him, without a doubt. There's no question about that call.
4 team fouls. Good job by Newman inside. Scrappy play.
Hey, John's been very consistent. Every game he's been right there, double-figure scoring, and doing a great job.
And again, the scoring at times, they really haven't needed the scoring. That guy is one reason, because Hunter Tyson continues to feel it from the outside. 5 out of 10 beyond the arc Sunday, and he's off to a good start here tonight. Tucker back on the floor despite what we were told was a hamstring issue. Wiley feeds inside. Williams lost the handle. Freshman will kick it back out. And that time Moore off his feet. And the foul will go against the...
Stay on the floor, especially on the perimeter. Stay on the floor.
So Hunter Tyson, again, a matchup issue out on the wing. But a guy, when you're squared up like that, you're just aiming for that middle part of the net that's hanging down. And he stroked it.
I guarantee you he spends some time on his own in this gym shooting that rock. I can promise you. You don't shoot the basketball like that without getting extra reps.
Tigers going this stretch without Tevin Mack or Amir Sims on the floor, and that was something Brad Brownell was hoping to do with the road trip coming up and a handful of games to be played out in Las Vegas during Thanksgiving week. Curran Scott getting his first Clemson start. And this is the kind of weapon they think he can be as the season goes on.
That was a good job of ball reversal right there, and makes for a long closeout by the defense. That was a great job reversing the basketball and knocking it down by Scott.
Lob inside, knocked away Jemison, scrapping for the ball. Tyson ahead, Mack.
How about that, my friend?
Bunch of acrobats playing some hoops. Tigers build on their biggest lead, a 17-point advantage. Travel the call, the turnover, and that'll be number 6 so far for Alabama A&M. And they come into this game doing a decent job with the basketball. They give it up 13 times a game. So scrappy play and a pretty good hoist.
That's a pretty good catch by Mack going to get that basketball too.
Mack now with 5 points. Alamir Dawes on those 2 made threes. Leads the Tigers with 6. Mack stroking the 3. 6'6" grad student. Played his high school ball at Greer in Columbia. From there to Texas, then to Alabama, and now here for one season of college hoops with a guy who is shown to be a pure scorer. Averaged under 10 points a game last year at Alabama. That's going to maybe double in a Clemson uniform. Thrown away, Garrett Hicks, another turnover. Four-minute, 19-second scoring drought for the Bulldogs. Tigers have opened this up. Nice job getting it inside, and Jemison able to finish on the feed from Curran Scott.
That's that veteran leadership from Scott at the guard position.
Alabama A&M, they average just 58.5 points a game, and the turnovers beginning to mount, and many of them are unforced errors as that one's thrown away. Good look by Scott. He can play some point. He can also be a shooter. And Jemison, who a really good note in the time he's been on the court, he hasn't picked up a foul yet. And that has been the story so far this season. He's in for 10 seconds before you know it. The first stat that he registers is a personal foul. But the sophomore who comes from Alabama continue to grow in this Clemson program. Fade away that time. No by Moore. Jemison, Mack rather, and Mack will get the roll. You're going to count it? They will, says Roger Ayers. Nice job. Good hustle by Tevin Mack.
Trey Jemison with the offensive rebound. And Trey's best basketball is in front of him, I can assure you.
Good job. Good body control.
And the finish.
Mack does a lot of things well. Comes into the ball game having made 2 free throws and only 3 trips on the season. 32-7 from way outside. Not going to happen again for Parham. They've made just 1 3-point attempt in 8 tries. Have the Bulldogs. Newman. And the rebound coming down to Miller. Here comes Alabama A&M. Parham knocked away. Good job by Newman once again. Mack going to lead the break. 3-on-2. Tyson, the kick. Mack thought about a three. Good recovery defensively. A little give and go, and inside, quick hands by Garrett Hicks. His 5th steal of the season. Parham on the drive. Contact going to the hole, and an offensive foul is called. And Hunter Tyson showing scrappy play as well.
I can promise you that's going to earn him more and more playing time because Brad Brownell loves that defensive play.
Tigers in control, frankly, the kind of game we expected. An Alabama A&M team picked way down there in the SWAC. 8 out of 10 teams going in after they won just 5 a season ago. Now, a Clemson team that's slowly getting healthier, although tonight they're trying to rest Chase Hunter, a freshman guard, and are without the services throughout this season of that guy, Nick Honor, who they thought would get an NCAA waiver to play right away, the sophomore who was on the all-rookie team in the Atlantic 10 at Fordham a year ago, but just a couple of days before the campaign began, they learned that waiver was denied. He had run the point for them over in Italy. So you're seeing the Clemson team in these first 5 games also adjusting to having others run the show, and Alamir Dawes has shown the ability to distribute, but also to score either outside or in, and he's off to a good start with 8 points.
And Honor is, I mean, obviously they were counting on him, and, you know, the NCAA and its infinite wisdom for some reason didn't feel that he should be given that waiver.
Fadeaway jumper that time, not a great look by Jalen Johnson. And a foul is called. So you see Dawes going around that screen by Jemison.
Great screen by Jemison, and not a very good job, to be honest with you, with Alabama A&M defending the pick on the ball.
Not sure who they got on that foul. Actually, it was Kayvon Moore with his 2nd for the Tigers. And nice finish inside. Jalen Johnson, freshman out of Indianapolis.
Coach Brownell is obviously not pleased with that defensive possession there by Clemson.
Newman, great look. John Newman, just 16 combined points and wins against Colgate and Detroit Mercy, but 2nd on this team at nearly 12 points a game. He hasn't really had to score the past 2 games, but he does so many other things on both ends of the floor. From the corner, trying to get his team a little bit closer, Garrett Hicks. 32% beyond the arc coming in.
Yeah, that jump shot by Newman there was perfect for him. Straight up, straight down. Eyes on the target.
Tigers are led by 28 here in the early stages. Dawes and Mack. Got a feeling he knew it was going down after it left his hands. Tevin Mack, 14 points, leads all scorers.
And give Dawes credit, too. He's finding the open man.
We saw Johnson score just a bit ago. On the perimeter, it works. Brandon Powell just checked in. This is a team that's loaded with guys named Brandon and Cameron, and the foul will go against Jemison. Dawes actually thought he was the guilty party. First on Jemison, but he played a long stretch before picking up that infraction. John Newman, you said a good look, and you did just what you're supposed to do.
Straight up, straight down. Great balance.
Jalen Johnson, 4 out of 7 in his first campaign with Alabama A&M before missing that free throw.
It really was, the foul was on Jemison, but that was really a heady play because they had Alamir Dawes posted inside, and he came over to help and committed the foul.
Tigers 40 points scored in less than 15 minutes in this game. So Clemson team which progressively has added to its point total since the opener, getting to a season high 87 against Detroit Mercy Sunday. On its way to a 100-point game and then some, but it's knocked away. Forcing the tempo. Hicks in the forecourt. Corrals, fires. And Garrett Hicks trying to make this a little bit more respectable. That trade gives him 6 points, and he leads the Bulldog team.
It's another freshman.
Brad Brownell displeased with the flow, I think is maybe how he would frame things. Goes ahead and uses a timeout. We'll take one as well. Here at Littlejohn, Clemson cruising along. Back in Littlejohn Coliseum, Tevin Mack trying to inch close to a 20-point first half. Trey Jemison, that's the kind of strong rebounding they want out of the sophomore. Newman, oh, and he'll flush it.
Also coming off a great screen by Trey Jemison.
John Newman, a flurry of points, and topping it off with some excitement that time. Really elevating at 6'5". Right of the lane trying to work inside. Ball knocked away. As Johnson was denied down low. First into the game is Premier Brown, a freshman who has yet to play in a game this year. John Newman starting to heat up. Past few games, they really haven't needed his scoring after he led the way in the first couple, but he's got 7 quick points. Tigers matching their biggest lead of this opening half. Into the corner it goes, and that time Tucker able to knock down the tray. Mack, little dribble, feed, Jemison. Oh, nice job reversing that time for Trey Jemison, who may know some folks who've gone to Alabama A&M over the years. The Tigers sophomore out of Birmingham, played at Hoover High. Left wing, Miller. And there's Dawes pulling it down. Oh, what a great find that time. Little pump fake, and Jemison finishes. Almost traveled, but John Newman give him the assist.
He fumbled a basketball, but his feet did not move. He didn't walk. I like Jemison on the defensive end. He's taking some leadership down there and pointing out defenders. And
he's 7 feet. He had the knee issue coming out of high school. Last year, you could tell he was out of shape. They've got him in great shape. A guy like that, he needs to pretend he's about 6'2". Just play with scrappiness, because he just hasn't developed the offensive game once they start playing the power 7 type opponents, and Tyson can't get it down. I just don't think that at this point he's going to be a reliable guy you throw it into the post to. Why not just let him get out there, scrap, hang around, get some rebounds,
and get those in close baskets, make the dunks, and be the force on the defensive end. That's huge.
Brown, and
like
let's
right
see,
there.
It'll be a held ball. And we'll take a timeout. John Newman, he's been electrifying. Outside, inside, baseline, and throwing it down.
We're doing our 4th annual Tiger Pride ride, where we give incoming freshmen a ride to their first class. Help them get off to a good start, and certainly promote our program, make them feel welcome here at Clemson.
Brad Brownell's annual ritual in August when classes begin at Clemson. At halftime, we're going to take you deep into detail of this year's escapade and the very fact that there was a mystery guest along the way for the Tigers head coach. Stay tuned for that. Coming up at the break, back to action. Just over 2 to go before the intermission. Tigers getting close to some big first half numbers in the Brad Brownell era, and for that matter, for a half of basketball at all. Scott got the start in place of Hunter, who's nursing a foot injury. Moore outside, Newman. Shot clock at 5. Sims getting extended rest, back on the court. Moore. Kayvon Moore kind of pushes it out there in his 3-point tries. His first made 3 as a Tiger.
And then back in defensive transition.
That 51 points matches the best in a first half in the Brad Brownell era. His best half of basketball turned in by a team. 56 points. Will fade away from the baseline. Not going to fall for Hicks. And Tyson taking it off the floor. Scott off the pump fake. Good find. Tyson out high. Can't get that one to go. And Hunter Tyson now 1 out of 2 beyond the arc. Other end, Miller. Been a tough night beyond the arc for anybody shooting threes. For Alabama A&M, they're just 4 out of 14. Newman. Looks like a zone Alabama A&M is using. Tyson. Smooth touch that time. A couple of threes off the bench. Keep in mind the 20 he had the other day, that came off the bench, and that was pretty good effort. Marquise Reed, in coming back from injury, came off the bench last season, and he was the first to do it since Reed did, but for the most part, you get 20 off the bench, you take it, regardless of the player.
Without a doubt.
You see the shot clock and game clock differential. Feed inside, stolen by Sims. Came in with 5 in the early going. Under 10 to go. Tigers playing for a final shot. Moore will force it. Can't get it to go, and that's how we arrive at halftime here at Littlejohn Coliseum. Brad Brownell looking for all of the fine points to be polished. We come back to Littlejohn. Clemson cruising 54-19. Tigers better than halfway to 100 as we get ready for our second half here in Littlejohn Coliseum. And the second half will likely see a lot of guys see playing time. Impressed by that first half box score and the fact that everyone who got on the floor for Clemson scored.
8 players. Every player scored at least 3 points or more. So good balanced scoring, and that can be attributed to just good team play.
You may see Brad Brownell as intense in the second half as at any point in the game this year, because it's time to do some coaching. 54 points in the opening half, a best under Brad Brownell at Clemson now in his 10th season for a first half. 56 is the highest scoring half the Tigers have ever had, but this is a time now where he's going to want to see a ball club that's not sloppy, limits the turnovers. They gave it up just 4 times in the opening half of play. Alabama A&M at 13 turnovers. Several of those were unforced errors, but the Tigers did do some good work defensively to disrupt things. So a second half now upcoming for Clemson that, again, with a road trip where they're going to see some quality teams out in Las Vegas, you want to make sure you end this game on a high note.
4 games in a row on the road, and then they come back against University of South Carolina here in Littlejohn.
Tigers about to go away from Littlejohn for nearly a month. They won't be back in here until December 15th in that rivalry showdown against the Gamecocks. Sims defended by the big freshman, E.J. Williams, gives to Dawes. Little hop, skip, and a jump, but he can't finish. And the rebound pulled off the glass by Garrett Hicks. Hicks out of Madison, Alabama, and knocked away that time. Good job by Clemson to get the ball back. Max pass ahead, deflected. Sims, now Scott from the corner. Flying in for the rebound, Cameron Alford, their top scorer, a freshman. He had 4 in the first half, came in averaging about 13. That's him with the ball. It's a team that's been using 5 freshmen tonight. They got a 6 on the floor for the first time this year, and big man Tremere Brown. But like so many schools at their level, they're in a 1-bid league. They're simply trying to get ready for conference play. And their conference regular season, they want to win as many games as they can. That really doesn't mean that much. It's all about winning their conference tournament.
True. Getting that automatic bid.
Alamir Dawes. Very well-rounded game. The Newark, New Jersey native. Showing the ability to come in and make an early impact for this Clemson team. He's in double figures now with 10.
He's getting better every game, Pete.
Trying to force the action that time, and doing so, T.J. Parham. First points of the game, he was 0 for 4 before he made that. He averages nearly 11. Playing at his 4th school. He had a cup of coffee at Army, never really was with them during a season in basketball. Then he went to Wisconsin Green Bay after attending a junior college. And now with Alabama A&M for 1 season. Look at the hustle by Hicks, forcing the turnover, drives in on Sims, and he'll head the line. Really good scrappy play by Madison, Alabama native. Tigers moments ago getting their first points of this second half. A little stop and pop by Alamir Dawes. A nice mid-range pull-up, a good part of his game.
Once again, coming off the screen set by Amir Sims.
Hicks this season had attempted just 2 free throws before the game began. That's his first attempt of the night. Clemson just 3 personal fouls in the first half. First on Sims. Here in the second half is the first on either team. Newman and Dawes out there on the wing. Newman good first half with 7 points. Mack thought about the jumper. Jemison instead. Little spin move. A lefty hook for the big fella.
It's got to be a career high for Jemison. I don't know what his...
He had 4 against Duke as a freshman. And tonight he has doubled that. 8 points so far for Jemison. Williams, freshman who actually spent a year of prep school in Atlanta before arriving at Alabama A&M. Newman the crossover, Mack from the left wing. Here comes Tucker. Williams, that's a big part of what they do in the half court, is feeding inside to the big man. 6'10". Nice job by the 7-footer. Jemison 2 denied.
Good discipline by Trey.
Off the steal. Moore back to defend for Clemson, but able to sneak underneath him is Alford. And what constitutes about as good of a run for Alabama A&M in this game. Moore. Tigers working the perimeter. Dawes, changes hands in the air, and he'll head to the line. On the blow-by, Alamir Dawes, a chance at a 3-point play. The foul goes against E.J. Williams.
He has done a really good job tonight of getting to the basket.
Dawes, first trip tonight to the line. 80% in his Clemson career coming into the night. And building on his numbers, now 13 points. Mack leads all scorers for the Tigers with 14. Spin move inside, and a nice one at that by Parham. Native of Chicago, his claim to fame is in high school he played on a very good team with Tyler Ulis, the former Kentucky star. Moore around a Jemison screen. Thought about the dish, and Mack coming in. Oh, he would have loved the Thunder jam, but pushes it up and in. He's got 16.
They almost pulled Jemison's pants down that time when he rolled to the basket.
Hicks, the dish. From the corner, it'll go. Nice find, nice smooth stroke. And Cameron Tucker able to hit that 3-pointer. He's got 2 in the game. Came into the contest struggling beyond the arc at just 2 out of 11. Newman. John Newman now 3 out of 6 from the field tonight. We'll reset Tucker out high. Try to get it inside. Deflected nicely. Moore runs it down. No look on the wing. Dawes. Alamir Dawes. 3 for 5 from downtown. Tigers continue good work beyond the arc. They're 11 out of 21, 52% for a Clemson team that came in at 33% from long range.
Give Kayvon Moore some credit for the good hands on defense and then leading the break, finding Dawes.
6'10" Williams, 7-footer Jemison. Lefty feed, misses everything. He will be a force in this league, though, that is not one known for its post players. Newman fouled, gives us a break in the action. Tigers coming out of the locker room and picking up where they left off offensively. Alamir Dawes trying to become a go-to guy as a freshman with shots just like that. 6 of the 8 Tigers who've played tonight have attempted a 3, and each has made at least one.
And the 2 that haven't have been the 2 bigs, Trey Jemison and Amir Sims. But once again, good passing, good penetrating, and kicking out. Just overall good team play with very good passing.
Tigers 11 out of 21 on three-pointers, as you see. Just 5 for 15 for Alabama A&M, but that's actually better than the 26% they came in with. In terms of three-pointers so far this season, Tigers able to hit their fair share against both Detroit Mercy and Colgate. Games they needed to make threes. Out of the timeout. Feet inside. Jemison reaching double figures, and the basket still rocking.
And what a great lead pass over the top to Jemison by Alamir Dawes.
From way out front. It's not going to fall that time for Alfred. Tigers with the rebound. Clemson has led by as many as 37 so far this evening. Jemison feeling it. Oh, and he had it knocked away, and a good job by Jalen Johnson at 6'7", defending the big man. Other end, catch and shoot, and draining the tray is T.J. Parham. Chicago native. Ball knocked off the leg of Curran Scott. Folks for the Bulldogs thought that should have been a backcourt violation. Trying to feed down low to Jemison. The entry pass can be difficult, but when you get it to the big fella and he catches it, he can do a whole bunch with it.
Now that was a bounce pass. Now it's very difficult for a 7-footer to get down there and dig that out, but I'm sure that the coaching staff at Clemson have worked on that with Jemison.
And you prefer the bounce pass as the entry pass instead of the lob. Tell me why.
I do indeed, because the defender's strength is up high with their hands and arms, and it's tough to get down there and defend that bounce pass.
Wouldn't go for Dawes. Rebound by Johnson. Brandon Miller. Jalen Johnson. Manuel High in Indianapolis drives the lane. No, good defense again by Jemison. Very active, as we've probably seen him in his 2 seasons in a Clemson uniform. Dawes and the foul. Let's see if he's set up beyond the arc. Foul goes against Brandon Miller. So Jemison, as we noted, active. That one swatted off the glass. Probably wouldn't have gone down anyway, but Jemison coming in without a block on the season. At least 2 in the game so far. Alamir Dawes.
That led to a fast break going the other way off that block.
Good looking freshman guard for the Tigers, and Dawes missing there. 1 out of 2 tonight, but 80%. If you haven't watched the Tigers play this year, you may not be familiar with the fact that his godfather is Shaheen Holloway, who was a great player at Seton Hall and was in here last year coaching St. Peter's in the game. They almost came in and upset Clemson. Jemison going to get a breather, but playing extended minutes so far tonight. Trey Jemison gets a rest, having played 14 minutes so far. And that's way up from what he's been averaging. Just activated on the roster for Clemson is Wells Hogue. He had been a manager, but they went ahead and brought him off the practice squad, if you will. He is a Greenville native, played at Greenville High, which has had a good basketball tradition. It's got to be a thrill for him to get onto the court tonight. 69-35 our score. Under 12 to play. Left wing Tucker knocked out of bounds, and it'll go the other way. Another turnover for Alabama A&M. Those have mounted tonight. They're getting close to 20. Wells Hogue and the Tigers back after this. We told you the superstars are in the arena. That is Mike Rainbow Trout. We're not sure if perhaps he missed the pregame meal with the other superstars, but that's what happened. And a security man simply trying to do his job and uphold justice. And the locals in Littlejohn could not believe it, that Mike Rainbow Trout of the superstars would stoop to that.
And then
completely stunned she was, or so it appeared.
And then he starts spitting out articles of clothing.
And exactly right. Well, I'm not sure what his culinary preferences are, but yes, we saw various articles that were of no interest. So Wells Hogue, he had the ball, the team manager who the Tigers have activated. A Clemson team, we said at the top of the broadcast, getting healthier, although Chase Hunter resting tonight, a foot injury. He could play if it was necessary, but as you see by the score, that's not the case. The Tigers hoping by December 15th to get big Jonathan Bear back from his knee injury. Then after Christmas, get Clyde Trapp back in there. And then this is a ball club that can go 10, 11, maybe even 12 deep. After the steal, Alabama A&M able to get the answer. Brandon Miller from downtown. Miller now with 6 points in the game. He's one of the two juniors that adds a bit of a veteran presence to this team that features 6 freshmen.
9 turnovers for Clemson now.
Look at Hogue driving the lane. His first basket in a Clemson uniform.
And the bench explodes down there. Happy for him.
Almost slipping that time. Tucker through the lane, hoisting it up there to no avail. Alford on the run out more. Tyson, the catch and shoot. And it's Hogue who scraps for the rebound. Folks want to see a jumper. Remember last year there was some great walk-on moments in Littlejohn. A rainbow! Wow!
Coming off a great flare screen by Amir Sims. Gets a wide open 3 look.
Hogue, best shooting percentage on the team through 2 attempts. 5 points, other end. And that one splashes for Miller. Adding to his night. And he now has 9 points, and that leads the Alabama A&M team. Curran Scott can't get that one to go down. He's now 1 for 4 beyond the arc, getting a start tonight. A fire on the other end by Miller.
Seems to be one and done for Alabama A&M.
They are 8 out of 20 from long range. Scott looking to feed inside, double team Kane. Ball knocked out of bounds. It'll stay in the Clemson end as Alford went for the steal. So Wells Hogue bringing back memories of Lyles Davis, who had folks enamored in Littlejohn last season. That one from way downtown. You know, Brad Brownell, I don't see him saying that was too long of a jumper. He likes to see it happen, and the teammates do too.
Absolutely.
Great way for a manager who's contributed so much to this program, and now they've activated him, and he can add some depth, especially helping practice more so than he had been. Sims gave a look at the shot clock. He'll take the elbow jumper. Now saying before the game he wants to try to maybe pull back on some of the Amir Sims minutes. Thinks that'll help his outside shooting. Obviously with fresher legs, you're a better shooter.
And in conjunction with Trey Jemison emerging a little bit here tonight, he'll have the opportunity to do that.
Nothing doing for Brandon Houston. Here come the Tigers. Clemson 5-0 all-time against teams from the Southwestern Athletic Conference. Most recently playing Texas Southern. They played them twice over a 3-year span. Look at Sims. He was thinking about the old tomahawk dunk, but unable to get the finger roll to fall. Miller on the other end. Brandon Miller had 7 points against Miami of Ohio on Saturday, but has double figures here tonight.
Heating it up.
Miller now with 12, first double-figure scorer for Alabama A&M. Around a Sims screen, Scott. And they should say that's on the way up.
Foul is called on 10, Garrett Hicks.
You shouldn't foul on Garrett Hicks.
4th team foul.
Brandon Miller scored 19 against Tulane for his career high last year.
Curran Scott going to the line. He's 1 for 2 tonight.
Scott from Edmond, Oklahoma, just north of Oklahoma City. And it's interesting, he came home from Charlotte after trying college basketball there. Went and played at Tulsa, and folks think, well, Tulsa's in the northeastern part of Oklahoma. Oklahoma City sits there in the center. But when you're out near Edmond, you're only about a 50-55 minute drive on the interstate from the Metro Tulsa area. That's how far out Edmond is as a suburb to Oklahoma City. And you're only about 50 minutes or so from Stillwater. So if you're an Oklahoma State alum and you end up living in Oklahoma City, you're probably living out on the north side of town. You're almost the same distance living out in Edmond to Norman on the south side of town, where University of Oklahoma is located.
This doesn't have anything to do with anything, Pete, but I believe
it has everything to do with Kerr and Scott in a 75-44 game.
I believe that our former wrestling coach at Clemson was from Edmond, Oklahoma.
I can imagine that. It's great wrestling country out there at the high school and collegiate level. Nice move inside by Alford. Their top scorer is a freshman coming in. And he's now got 8 in the game. Coming up on 7.5 to go. Prairie View A&M is picked to win the SWAC this year, the conference the Bulldogs play in. That'll be a 15 foul against Alabama A&M. Hunter Tyson and company rolling to another win. Trey Jemison, the Tigers' sophomore center, having a career night. 10 points so far. He was a 4-star coming out of Birmingham, a guy who had to deal with injuries at the end of his high school career, but maybe rounding into shape here early in 2019 and 20.
I'm sure he's a bright spot in Coach Brownell's eyes tonight. He's got a great line across there. 5 of 5 from the field. 4 rebounds, 2 of which are offensive. 10 points, 2 block shots, 2 steals. That's a pretty good night.
And against a team where the Tigers have the size advantage, although there is a 6'10 post player for Alabama A&M. This is the kind of game he should begin to grow in, but now it'll be the test against the better teams they face, and then once they get back into ACC play, can he be a factor? They would love to be able to get 7 to 10 quality minutes out of him, as that ends up in an empty possession, but the Tigers cruising. They scored 54 points in the opening half of play tonight.
When he's in the game, he's a designated screener. He screens, rescreens, goes sets another screen. So he's a designated screener, but he's...
And you see in the man, he's far from the basket, defending right there against Houston as Hunter Tyson gets the rebound, but I wouldn't be stunned if he continues to get in better shape, and he looks great this year in terms of his physical conditioning. Why not throw him out high defensively when you throw a zone at a team? There's a nice feed inside and the finish by Hunter Tyson.
Now he's got a 7-foot body, but he's got a wingspan that's unbelievable.
And he's the kind of guy who could be a real X-factor defensively. That time Newman got a hand on it. By the way, 4 Tigers in double figures now, led by Dawes with 17, Mack has 16, and Tyson and Jemison with 10 apiece. Dawes looking for the big man. Spinning inside on Houston, soft touch, can't get it to go, scrapping for the rebound. He didn't see it, and now Houston able to get it off the floor. Hicks has it knocked away, saved. Nearly a travel down low, the rejection by Jemison, and then TJ Parham. And Jemison looks like he's shaken up a little bit.
Maybe a finger or a thumb.
And a timeout for Brad Brownell, and as you see, a lot of pain for Trey Jemison.
Coach Brownell never passing up a coaching moment, teaching moment.
Certainly one for the Tigers right now. We'll check on Trey Jemison when we come back to Littlejohn. With Jim Davis, Pete Ganady with you back at Littlejohn Coliseum, a Clemson team that is well on its way to a 4th consecutive victory. Tigers will head out to that tournament in Las Vegas. See some quality opponents. Be a lot of fun for the guys. I would suppose many on this Clemson team maybe have never been to Vegas, perhaps maybe not even that far out west. Paul Grindy on the court, the transfer in from Vassar, and the big fella gonna back in and spin on Houston. Everybody's scoring tonight as the Tigers continue that trend.
From Division III Vassar to Power 5 Clemson.
A heck of a student from what we understand, which you would expect at Vassar, located in Poughkeepsie, New York. deflections, and it'll stay in the Alabama A&M end. Tigers will face TCU. And from downtown, that one's nothing but net. Bomb. On Sunday is when they'll play their first game, and then they play again Tuesday against either Colorado or Wyoming. So some good tests ahead out in Las Vegas ahead of the Thanksgiving holiday.
I don't like to see those bounce passes on the perimeter.
Moore taken off the floor that time by Jalen Johnson. Alabama A&M trying to get better for their next game, their home opener Monday against Troy. Grindy went for the block. Instead, I think he's going to be called for the foul. And he will. Paul Grindy able to dent the scoreboard for the Tigers. The big fella. Little kiss off the glass. And Grindy with that bucket.
Nice touch.
Yeah. And you know, one of those guys, you're not going to see him probably against most of the opponents this year, but an opportunity to get him in. For players like that, I know you can appreciate it as your great run as a women's basketball coach. Same principle whether you're coaching men or women. There are those in practice who help get your regulars better, and guys like Parker Fox, who just checked in, is the son of a coach and brings great basketball knowledge. It's great to see them rewarded with opportunities like this.
Yep. Parker Fox, dad was the head coach at Georgia for a long time.
Yes, he was. Did a great job at Nevada, and now he's taking over the
Cal.
program at Cal. Look at Newman slashing to the basket. 9 points in the game. Did his initial damage in the opening half of play.
I know Mark and Cindy, and they're wonderful people.
And we saw Mark Fox quite a bit here last year. Dawes goes for the steal on the run out. Alamir Dawes, 19 points in the game as a new career high. He'd scored 16 earlier in the season against Colgate. And a timeout is called by Alabama A&M. John Newman likes to score from far away and close in as well. Tigers rolling. They emptied the bench. Everybody on the roster now getting in to see action in our ball game tonight, including the fellow wearing number 20, O'Neal McBride, a 6'7" freshman out of Myrtle Beach, played at Myrtle Beach High. Averaged 10 points and 9 points. 10 points and 9 rebounds a game as a high school senior. And actually then after high school went to Fort Union Military Academy for a year. Clemson about to win its first ever meeting with Alabama A&M, which has only been Division I for about 20 years. They claim as their most famous athletic alums a couple of football players. John Stallworth, I think most folks have heard that name or remember the great former Steelers Hall of Fame wide receiver, and also Robert Mathis, who is more recent, played with the Indianapolis Colts.
John Stallworth was on the same receiving corps as
Lynn Swann.
And?
I mean with the Steelers. And Benny Cunningham was a tight end. Late great Benny Cunningham, a Seneca native, Clemson alum. I thought for a second you were going to say Ron Shanklin in his early days or Frank Lewis, but you didn't dig that deep on me. I figured out where you were going with that.
Benny Cunningham.
Each team has attempted 26 field goals in the half, and as you can see, the Tigers, I think, have really been working on more things away from the basket. I get that impression. Look at Grindy with a spin move, and he's got another field goal to his credit as a Clemson Tiger, as he was able to get into the scoring column earlier in a Clemson uniform.
Little head fake one way and drop it on the floor going the other way. Great job.
Freshman drives inside. Premier Brown, nothing doing from the outside. That one comes off too strong by Garrett Hicks, scrapping on the floor, and there is the fellow who's been the best of the walk-ons, Wells Hogue, former manager. They just gave a uniform to. Crowd loving that move. They'll love it if he can splash another rainbow, but no. Grindy rebound try, and unable to be kept in bounds by Alabama A&M's Brandon Powell. Grindy was a scoring machine at Vassar, the 17th player in their program history to reach 1,000 points. Look at the drive to the basket. And almost getting it to go as McBride, but it'll head to the free throw line.
Coach Antonio Reynolds Dean works with the post players for Clemson. It's obvious he's a teacher because he's taught these post players some offensive moves with their back to the basket. Very impressive.
And McBride's first free throw attempt of the night in the game, and Clemson has tried just 11, 5 out of 11 from the line. Tigers came in at 67%. That's a number that their head coach will expect and demand to see move up into the low 70s once they get a few more games under their belt. By the way, while we have a moment, we mentioned a couple of football players from Alabama A&M, and it's interesting, John Stallworth, the great receiver from Alabama A&M, which goes against the program that's become known as wide receiver U, but congrats to Tiger football players and head coach Dabo Swinney for making the finalist list in a variety of national awards. Travis Etienne today announced for the Doak Walker Award, which will go to the best running back in the nation. He's on the semifinalist list. We've got Isaiah Simmons up for the Nagurski as the best defensive player. The Tigers offensive lineman John Simmons is a finalist for the Outland Trophy, very prestigious postseason award. And Dabo Swinney, no big surprise, he's on the Maxwell Club's Coach of the Year list of 22.
You think they'd give me a vote for any of those?
Be tough. Be real tough. Now, once the Naismith Award rolls around, you'd be front and center on that. And ETN, the announcement today, the overall number is impressive. He's better than 1,300 yards. He's within about 320 of his single-season program record and 10 shy of his touchdown mark from a year ago. But keep in mind, he's averaging 8.7 yards a carry. And that is not only leading the nation this year, would be a Clemson record if he maintains it. He's 1 yard per carry better than anyone else in the country, and he's among the best all time in yards per carry in all of college football. And the other two guys who are in front of him on the list are non-Power 5 conference players. So Travis Etienne, and keep in mind, Travis Etienne's had 11 carries in the fourth quarter this year. So it tells you that he's pretty much kicked back with the other starters and enjoying it as a spectator in most of these games. And so, granted, so that impacts the overall number. If he had more carries in the fourth quarter, it would bring down the yards per carry number. But the way he breaks tackles, he probably wouldn't be too far below 8 yards per carry. But
the only number they care about
is that big one on the scoreboard under their name at the end. As we didn't mean to go too far deep into football in a basketball game, but I thought it was worth pointing out that, probably a lot of postseason hardware, and then maybe one big trophy for the team too come early January once again here at Clemson.
Big time rebound by McBride there.
Yeah, nice job going up and pulling it down.
In traffic.
Hogue, I think they're going to want to get somebody else a chance to score here. Grindy with a couple of field goals. Tries for a third, no. Good scrapping battle for the rebound. Good hustle off the bench by Mason Ellison of Alabama A&M. Partially deflected that time by Fox. Tigers will dribble it out and put away a 4th straight win, 87-51 against Alabama A&M for Brad Brownell. He is now just 4 shy of Cliff Ellis's all-time wins record at Clemson, number 173 here at Clemson, and overall number 340 for Brad Brownell in his coaching career. Tigers improved to 4-1 on the season. Alabama A&M falls to 0-5. Clemson now gets ready for a Sunday game out in Vegas against TCU. Alabama A&M Monday night at home against Troy. Tigers set the tempo early in a very smooth first half when they scored 54 of their points.
Did indeed. Great game, and once again, Pete, great working with you.
Clemson team now that won't be back home till December 15th, but getting ready for a Sunday night game. As always, my friend, a pleasure. For Jim Davis, Pete Hannity saying so long, big win for Clemson, and this has been a presentation of ESPN.